So, have you been wanting to create a course? But in the back of your mind, you're like, but what if I spend months on this course and nobody wants to buy it? How can I avoid that unfortunate waste of time, money, and energy? Well, that's what we're going to talk about on today's episode. Let's get started. Hey messengers, welcome to the Market Your Message show. I'm your host, Jonathan Milligan, and the author of the book, Your Message Matters, How to Rise Above the Noise and Get Paid for What You Know. And this show is all about helping you with low-tech, simple, audience-building strategies, especially if you're a writer, a coach, or a course creator. And we're going to dive in today to talk all about courses. So what I want to cover today is I want to help you understand how to sell a course before you create it. Now, when I say those words, that may bring a little bit of an anxiety under you. You might think, well, Jonathan, I'm not a master salesman, and what if I sell it and I can't deliver? But I think by the time we get to the end of this episode, you'll be like, aha, that's how I could do that. And it just makes more sense, doesn't it? Because why go into a cave, build something for a year, only to come out and find out nobody really wanted that thing? There are ways that we can kind of test the waters first. So here's what you're going to discover in today's episode. I'm going to talk about the biggest mistake most course creators make and how you can avoid it. Why you should test your idea before you create it. And then we're going to land real practical. I'm going to talk about my 2 favorite ways to sell before you create. And you'll be surprised how simple it actually is. All right. So if you're like, okay, Jonathan, I want to do an online course. I've been thinking about doing an online business, but I'm just overwhelmed on like where to start, what to do first, what to do second. If that's you, then the best place to start is by grabbing a free copy of my brand new book. It's called Your Message Matters. It is a culmination of over 10 years of working full-time online, blogging, podcasting, YouTubing, all of that stuff. And it's really broken down into a simple formula in a 260-page book that you can get for free. So of course you can go to the bookstore, you can go to Amazon, you can buy the book, but why not grab it for free? All you got to do is go to yourmessagemattersbook.com and get your free copy. All right, so let's jump into today's topic. For those of you who are watching live with me or on the YouTube channel, I'm going to doodle a little bit in my iPad. If you're listening to the podcast, no worries. I'm a big fan of podcasting. I'll explain it to you as well as I can. But if you want to see this, go actually pop over to YouTube. Just search my name, Jonathan Milligan, and you'll find the YouTube channel that goes with this video. All right, so before I jump into the iPad, let me talk about what is the biggest mistake that I see most course creators making. And here's what it is. They go all in creating the course. I mean, they do the wonderful slide presentations. They've got even the little bumper video at the beginning of every video. They've mapped out this 6-module course that has 10 to 15 videos each. It's the master end-all be-all course because they want to create really high value for people so that people won't ask for a refund. And so they go in and they do this for 6 months, 9 months, a year, working on creating this course, only to find out 2 things. Number 1, they have no audience to sell it to. Or number 2, nobody actually wanted to buy a course on that topic to begin with. Now, I don't want you to go through that. And maybe that's what's been holding you back. And so as we go into today's lesson, I think it'll really help you to kind of connect the dots and find out, first of all, is my topic in demand? And second of all, how can I sell it before I create it? Because if I don't sell it, I don't have to create it. That's true too, right? All right, so that is the important lesson number 1. So what I'm going to do is I want to jump in and show you 2 of my favorite ways to sell before you create and how you can test your idea before you actually go create that thing. So I'm going to jump into the iPad and I'm going to talk about option number one. Option number one is called what I call the 1-day virtual workshop. So I want you to think about hosting your own virtual workshop. And this, we're thinking 2 to 4 hours. And let's just say it's on a Saturday to make it simple. Most people have time on a Saturday to consume your 2-hour, your 4-hour workshop. Now, I'll get into the details a little bit, but before I get into the actual details, what's the best way to test the idea and to sell it? So one of my favorite ways right now is a private Facebook group. And the reason why I think this is important is because this is what I call the social pond strategy that I love to teach. And let's say this is a pond, right? And you've got your water, you've got your fishes in the water. And what we want to do is we want to go fish where there's actually fish. And so for 90% of you, your audience is hanging out already on Facebook. So it makes sense that you create a Facebook group. I like to see a Facebook group of somewhere between 100 to 300 plus members before you take the next step. And the next step is to do a live group launch. So you pick a theme. Maybe it's part of the topic that you want to actually sell your course. If you already have a course idea, think about what is kind of the big picture where I'm not teaching the entire course, but I am teaching the why and the what. This is very important. So if you're going to do a 3-day challenge or a 3-day virtual online thing, maybe it's a 5-day, we're going to use 3-day for this example. What you want to do is you want to go live. And by the way, you can go live just on your phone into the Facebook group, so we can keep this super low tech. And we're going to teach anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes each day into that Facebook group. And again, we're going right on our phone and we're teaching either the why or the what. The why or the what on your topic. Now, what you're going to sell is the how. It's one thing to just share the why and the what, and people are like, oh, okay, that's why you do that, or that is why that's important, right? Or what is it actually? And then you say, okay, now that you know why and what it is, you reposition on day 3 and say, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go deeper with a small group of people, and I'm going to be hosting, and let's say that this live day 1's on Monday, day 2's on Tuesday, day 3's on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, you say, this Saturday, I'm going to be hosting a virtual workshop where I'm going to show you how to do this. And it's going to be 4 hours long. It's going to be 2 hours long. It's going to be some breaks. But you're going to walk away and you're going to know blah, 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 blah. You're going to know how to do this. So what we're going to do on this actual 1-day workshop is we're going to use Zoom. Now, if there's one positive out of the pandemic that most of us, all of us have been going through for it seems like forever now, it's that everybody knows how to use Zoom. Everybody's got an account on Zoom. It doesn't matter if you're 80 years old. They know, most people know how to use Zoom. I have family members who never even knew what Zoom was. They all know how to use Zoom now. So you're going to use Zoom. And again, you can get Zoom right now for like $15 a month. And you can cancel anytime. So it's a low dollar way to get started. So let's say you get 10 people. And we're just going to use just rough numbers here. Keep things really, really low. 10 people times, let's say you charge $50 for your workshop. That's good money, right? I mean, not bad for a couple hours on Saturday. It's a way to earn a little bit of money and kind of test this out. But who knows? You might get 100 people. Or what if you got 200 people? to join your virtual workshop. That's pretty awesome, right? And so on that Zoom, let's say you run this from noon to 4 p.m. Again, depends on where you live. You might want to adjust the times and maybe you give a little bit of breaks in between. But you literally use this opportunity to teach the people who are there with you on Zoom. And this is the kicker, record everything. Now, the first time doing this, you might say, you know what, this is a learning experience. Now I know a little bit about what to do better. I've got feedback from the people who were a part of this. And then you run this cycle again, let's say every quarter. So maybe you do this format 4 times a year. And each time you're getting a little bit better. And I promise you, once you do this a couple of times, you're going to either have a really good recording that you can now sell. So we can turn around now and we can say you can buy the recording of my workshop for $50 or $75. Maybe you raise the price over time, right? And so this is an easy way to get started. So that is option number 1, is the 1-day virtual workshop. I really, really love this strategy. Option number 2. Option number 2 is what I call the 4-week boot camp. Now, the 4-week boot camp is very similar, right? We've got our Facebook group. It's our social pond where the ideal customers are hanging out. Again, we're going to do a 3 or 5 day live challenge. So we're going to go live each of these days. And we're going to teach the why and the what again, right? You could even have day 1 be the why, day 2 be the what, and day 3 talks a little bit about the how, but then points people to, we can go way more in depth on the how in our 4-week boot camp. Now the 4-week boot camp, you're going to be able to charge a lot more for this. I would say even if you're a beginner, you're looking at anywhere between $100 and $500. And ideally, you're going to end up with probably less people, but that's okay, because you're going to have a test group to go through. And so you can literally go through and you look at 5 to 10 people who purchase this thing, right? Now, here's the beautiful thing. What are we doing to deliver on this 4-week boot camp? Well, first of all, I would choose a consistent day and a consistent time. So maybe you say the next 4 Saturdays at noon, or maybe it is the next 4 Thursday nights at 8 p.m. However you want to frame it, it's totally up to you. But then what we're going to do is we're going to use Zoom again. We're just using the Zoom meeting feature. And what's great about this is you're going to spend half of your time on the call doing some teaching, right? So you want to take your thing and divide it into 4 steps, 4 parts. And you're going to do the first 30 minutes, you're going to do a little bit of teaching. And then the second part of the call is Q&A. And the Q&A is gold, because the Q&A will help you go, oh, okay, I need to cover that next week on the second week call, because I know that's an important point. And what you're doing is you are you are allowing this group to be your focus group to help you create a really, really awesome course. So, and it's not that the first time is not going to be awesome. It's probably going to be really, really good, but you're going to improve upon it by going through it live with students. So you do a little bit of teaching, and then you say, okay, what questions do you have? Let's answer your questions. And then I want you to make sure that you record the whole thing. Because one of the things you can do is each session you record it and you go upload it to your course platform. I like Kajabi. And that way your bootcamp students have a way to go back to one of the sessions in case they miss a session. Then you can turn around and package that course and you could sell it. Sell the recordings of the live boot camp to your list. You could sell it on social media, wherever you want to go sell it. You have something to sell. And so this process right here is the process I recommend that people start with. A lot of people want to start with a book. The book is great. Doing the book is a wonderful strategy. I don't think you start with a book. I think you do the book next after you dial in either selling a workshop or selling a 4-week boot camp. So which one of these do you like? Do you like the idea of a one-day workshop? How about a virtual 4-week boot camp? Which one of these would you want to do? Which one sounds good to you? Let me know. And also, again, if you're like, okay, Jonathan, this was really good, helpful information, but I'm still not sure where to start. The best place to start is to get the handbook on an online business. It's 10 years of me running an online business packaged up into a 260-page book. You can get it for free. Just go to yourmessagemattersbook.com. Again, let me say that again, yourmessagemattersbook.com, and get your free copy. Also, let me know, what type of topics would you like for me to cover on future episodes? And also, take a moment and like, share, review, or give us a rating, or even subscribe to our channel and let us know how we're doing. And when we see these things, we know people want more of this type of content. All right, that's it for this episode. Never forget, your message matters.